Now let's see graphical views that are generated from the code. With Sigasi Visual HDL, the code is the single source of truth, and the graphics are generated from the code in real time. So these views always reflect the current state of the code. There are three graphical views that the tool supports: dependencies diagram, block diagram, and state machines diagram. Let's start with the dependencies diagram. You can access all the views using the Open SVH View button over here. Let's click this button and select Dependencies diagram. This view shows how the files in the project depend on each other. You can zoom in, zoom out, fit to screen, and use these buttons to configure the view. You can click here to only show dependencies of the active file that is open in the editor. If you change the active file in the editor, then the view reflects the change. You can also save this image in SVG format. Dependencies view also supports navigation. Let's see all the files in the project again and double-click this file to open it in the editor and navigate to that module. Another graphical view is the block diagram. Let's close the dependencies diagram and click this button again to select the block diagram. The block diagram shows instantiations, always blocks, and assignments inside the module. You can zoom in, zoom out, fit to screen, and save this image in SVG format. Similar to dependencies diagram, block diagram also reflects the file that is active in the editor. You can double-click the elements in the block diagram to navigate to the corresponding location in the code. You can also click the connections to navigate to that location where the connection is made. The block diagram also supports navigating to instantiated modules. You can simply right-click a block and select Open Module to navigate to that module. In that case, a new file becomes active in the editor, and now the block diagram reflects this file. If you want to go back to the previous module, you can simply use this button to go back, and the diagram will reflect the previous view again. Finally, let's see the state machines diagram. Here in this file, there's a state machine. Let's click this button again and select Open State Machines diagram. The view now shows the diagram of that state machine in the code. Similar to other views, you can zoom in, zoom out, fit to screen, and configure the view using these buttons. The view shows you both transition conditions and transition comments. You can hide them using these buttons. You can also double-click state bubbles and transitions to navigate to the corresponding location in the code. If you update the code, the modification is reflected in the view immediately. Let's comment out this transition here. And now that state is colored red, meaning that there is no outgoing transition. Let's fix the code again, and the view is updated again. Note that you don't even have to save the file. Every change is reflected in the views without having to save files. This is true for every functionality of Sigasi Visual HDL. You can use the state machine diagram when reviewing or debugging a state machine. The view helps you understand the state machine logic faster. It's also useful when designing a state machine. You can undock this view and put it on another screen. As you write code and develop a state machine, you can see how it evolves visually. And finally, you can save this image in SVG formats. So this is how you can use graphical views to save time in understanding or debugging existing code or designing.